Okay, everyone. We are almost at the end, so I will say thank you a couple of times in the next 20 minutes, but thank you for bearing with us, and thank you for patience with some technical hiccups here and there, but I hope you had a good time so far. We will be now collecting the findings from the two breakout sessions, so I will briefly ask both facilitators from the sessions or whoever from the session is willing to present to enlighten us on what they were working on in the breakout sessions. And then after 5 minutes, so basically the presentations will be 5 minutes long, and after those 5 minutes I will then open the floor and you can ask any questions, you can make comments, and then we can discuss here the findings. I would like the presenters to keep it to 5 minutes so that we can also leave at 2 p.m. Thank you very much, and I think, Julie, you're already ready to present. Don't hide.
Thank you, everyone. I've just spoken a lot, so I'm a bit tired, so bear with me, please. Thank you for the group that stayed in the breakout session. So just a quick recap. We have done a SWOT analysis activity in order to identify what are the challenges faced by operators in providing financial assistance to victims and survivors. We split into 4 groups. 2 groups were in Ukrainian, 1 group was in English, and 1 group was online. We will share the findings, but what's great is that we kind of all agreed on what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths also. So all in all, I think in conclusion, we have a lot of work with the VA working group in order to coordinate all of this, operators from the mine action sector, but from outside. And yeah, I think we all have a common understanding of what's needed at the moment in Ukraine to provide support to victims. Thank you very much. Did you want more concrete example or?
Thank you very much, Julie. Are there any questions or comments? Are there any comments from the breakout rooms participants on financial assistance, and or are there any questions maybe from the other breakout room participants on financial assistance? I learned as a facilitator to also endure the silence. Doesn't seem like there are questions, but Julie, and to everyone who was on the financial assistance group, thank you very much for participating. I will sketch out later a little bit what the next steps are, but already really thank you very much, Julie and financial assistance working group. Thank you. Next one, I will pass the floor to Olena to give us a summary of the findings and of the dynamics in the group on initiatives that have to do with advocacy. Thank you.
Hello, dear colleagues. Our group number 2 considered the different approaches to advocacy of initiatives for victims of explosive objects. We worked quite fruitfully. We had a number of issues to discuss, and in this first half of the session, we discussed the topics of the advocacy campaigns. We discussed the problems that are worth advocating, the things that should be written down in the regulations. And in this second part, we spoke about, let me show this to you. We spoke about the things that we have outlined, the topics, the key audiences for the advocacy campaigns, we spoke of receiving the special status of the victims of explosive objects. The target group would be the victims themselves, so we would be speaking of also simplifying and expediting the process of receiving the status, and in this case, we are advocating for government agencies, and this way we are helping people to get the necessary information and the status they need. And especially we are interested in the medical and social commissions that sometimes do not even explain that the person can get additional benefits when they get the status. Also, we spoke of inclusion of people with disabilities, and in this case, we are interested in central government authorities, policymakers, and also the medical and social commissions. We also consider the comprehensive support that can be provided by the local authorities, which should understand the things that depend on them. And also, we need to advocate for sharing the list of services that these people are entitled to get. We also focused on the different legislation amendments that are required. For instance, the requirements concerning the construction norms and how they need to be advocated, and how the following of those should be monitored. And we also spoke about the employment of people with disabilities and finding the right balance between stating and not stating the effect of disability and the impact of this on their job. And also we spoke of getting new qualifications, new training, and again, advocating changes in this field. So having specified the exact topics for advocacy, we also discussed the tools. The colleagues worked in groups defining some important tools and approaches. Specifically, the colleagues paid attention to the need to be evidence-based, understand the context, hear the voice of beneficiaries and the donors, because, well, the voice of the donors is also defining what we are advocating for and how we are doing this. Also, very importantly, we should coordinate our efforts because everyone has their respective mandate that is important in this specific context, so we should get united to support each other in this joint cause of supporting the victims. We also discussed the legislation and the necessary amendments. The colleagues have shared a very clear algorithm on how to find friends who could help us lobby the different initiatives, and also how we could avoid the foes. And there should be some clear recommendations and clear messages with which we launch our media campaigns. And also we discussed the mechanisms for the monitoring of this policy implementation. And again, the surveys and statistical data would be our data sources. Also, we discussed advocacy for standards. In this regard, it is very important to develop some specific solutions that could be offered to the national government and policymakers for them to implement this solution at their level. So this was emphasized as one of the important groups and topics. We also spoke of the different approaches and channels that should be used to disseminate information for the destigmatization of people with disabilities. And let us emphasize that the information should be adapted to the needs of the target audience, and it should be disseminated by at least two different channels, keeping in mind the needs of the target audience. Also, we need to engage people with disabilities, lawyers, and also incorporate the international experience. Finally, we spoke of integration of victim assistance into the government policy, and we discussed that it is important for the non-specific, non-mine action organizations to get the understanding in which way they can be helpful in the aspects of their respective mandates. Thank you so much, dear colleagues, for working in our group. Thank you, dearest organizers, for enabling this platform for exchange of opinions and development of recommendations.
Thank you very much, Olena, for this very comprehensive summary. I like that you spoke a lot about the mapping of actors in the beginning a little bit. You did like a stock-taking exercise on what everyone is doing. You talked about problems, gaps, target groups. You brought some concrete examples. And you stressed also, of course, in the end, how important coordination is and to work towards our joint cause. So I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for facilitating the session to you and to your colleague Anastasia and everyone who was involved. So big thank you really to everyone. Are there any questions, comments for the advocacy breakout session group? Okay, I waited the obligatory 10 seconds. I would say before we close, and we will close on time, I would like to say once again, thank you very much to everyone. DRC team, really thank you so much. Everyone from DRC, everyone from HI, everyone from UNDP, UDA who also gave a very good input in the financial assistance session, everyone who is here in the room, but also to everyone online. I know it has been a very long half day with some hiccups here and there, but I really appreciate that you were all very professional and very proactive. So 1,000 thanks to all of you. Just 2 or 3 words on next steps. Our team will be busy in the next days summarizing the entire event. We will be then sharing not only the recording, but also the written summaries of the entire roundtable, so also the breakout sessions, the main findings, the presentations will be shared. And as I was saying before, you will be receiving probably those via email, but you can also scan this QR code, and then you will be directed to the Relief Web site, where you already find resources from other events and information about the Victim Assistance Working Group. We are really determined to, and here you can scan it already if you want, if you can't wait for information about what we do. Thank you very much, Vlada, for doing this. We're really determined to use those findings that we all worked on today here and to really elaborate them further. So in the next working group sessions, meetings, and next roundtables, we will be picking up those topics. And as I said in the beginning, we really want to develop guidance documents, unified standards, mechanisms that we can all adhere to, that we can all endorse, so that we can support this sector in the most efficient and effective and adequate way possible. So you all contribute to this, and we're very happy to continue the conversation with all of you. Please approach us from DRC, HI, UNDP, if you want to discuss something in more detail. And I have nothing else to say, then really thank you so much. And if you are still interested, we can have a quick group picture here for those who want to have one with all of us. Otherwise, I would say thank you very much and have a good rest of the day and keep in touch. Thank you.